two. Cut.
Take two.
I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters. We can have grace and humility in how we interact with other people.
All right, follow me with this.
But they've been using their power to obstruct and stop justice from taking place.
You want to pray us out?
I do.
We'll pray for Tina. And let's have conversations about what truth is. Welcome back.
Happy Monday.
It is a happy Monday. You're in the studio. I'm not in the studio.
I like this lighting. I like being up high. I'm at the desk now instead of sitting in the normal chair. Now I feel empowered, Joe. I know we're gonna have an incredible show today. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
A big update on the Durham Report, as well as a very special guest today that I think everyone is going to enjoy listening to. How's your weekend, Joe?
It was actually really good. It was really good. I'm down in Texas, so it's always, everything down here is always better. It's always better down here in Texas. But yeah, we have Tarek that's joining us, and I want to tell you a little bit about him, and we can walk through. I want to be able to walk through some of the stuff that that we're going to talk about, especially with the Durham Report, given the fact that he has such a robust background. So let me just tell you a little bit about Tarek real quick. He's a seasoned security and intelligence professional with 13 years of specialized experience across military service, law enforcement, and federal government contractor. He did say in the break before we came on that he has a love-hate relationship with some intelligence agencies. I'll just put that out there. But he is renowned for his expertise in counterterrorism, executive protection, and intelligence operations, and he worked in collaboration with agencies like the FBI, CIA, ICE, and DHS. He's fluent in both Arabic and English. We had a little bit of fun with that. And he thrives in high-risk environments, and he earned recognition from the White House in his role in safeguarding 1,500 trafficked children. I missed that part, or I would have said something earlier to him about that. A testament to his unwavering commitment and operational precision. With a discreet and strategic approach to security, he brings exceptional capabilities in protection service, cultural liaison, and crisis response. His background includes safeguarding high-level government officials, intelligence assets, and VIPs local or globally. A trusted interagency collaborator, he offers advanced threat analysis, protective planning, and rapid response leadership. So with that being said, I think we should probably just jump right into it and bring you in. Tarek, welcome to the show.
All the things we're going to be talking about today for sure. How you guys doing?
Great. I saw the CIA in there. You know, I have just nothing but a hate relationship with those guys. I don't particularly like those guys at all. But
You know what, man? Honestly, people always, that's like this, out of my entire background, people always like stop me at that part, right? They say CIA and they're like, oh shit, well, how was your experience? I think it's always indifferent to people, you know?
Everybody's trying to run. They're like, wait, okay, hold on. I got a cough. Oh, get me out of here.
You guys said some guy was trying to join the show. I thought it might have been one of their own, man. I was like, fuck, they're already on to me, dude. Like, Tarek's going to be talking on the Joe Altman show. He's going to fucking expose us.
Yeah, it wouldn't take much. I mean, frankly, those guys they're just really, I mean, there's a lot of psychopaths and sociopaths that are in the CIA.
I mean, you almost have to be in the CIA. You have to have extremely high scores. There's, unfortunately, I imagine you know some of them. There's very few CIA agents currently that are good guys, that are really fighting for us. Most of them, I think, based on all of the evidence, based on how they act, how they respond to situations, are in fact either evil or being paid by someone who is evil and still going along with it.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah,
I would like to hear your thoughts on it. Do you agree with that? Or am I being too pessimistic on the CIA?
No, so I'll be honest, right? So like my first gig working like indirectly with them was as an interpreter, right? In my early 20s. And it was a good experience back then, but I was young and naive, and I thought it was badass to be working with a bunch of, interrogators from the CIA. And I spoke Arabic, and I was young, and they were using me, and I thought it was cool, and they were paying me good. But the older I got and the more like I realized what the fuck I was actually doing, like was every guy I actually talked to terrorist, or could have been a regular civilian that the CIA fucking wanted to twist and use as a pawn. Like the older I got, the more I realized that, yeah, they do use people. Of course, it's a fucking Central Intelligence Agency. Um, my opinion is like as a contractor, it's different than actually working directly for them, which would uh, follow more of what you just said. Like a typical CIA officer would fit the profile of what you described, honestly. With a contractor, we can limit what we accept and what we don't want to do. Does it make sense?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So you could say, no, screw off CIA if you didn't like one of the jobs that they wanted to assign you to, rather than if you're part of the CIA, that's all you have. And you're there because you're going to
Exactly.
go along with whatever mission they tell you to. Oh, you want to overthrow a government and kill a bunch of innocent people, you have to go along with it. How much of that actually happens versus how much of it is just a conspiracy theory?
Well, I'll start with that. I'm the only person I know, and I know a lot of people, to turn down an operations officer position with the CIA full time. They offered me a full time operations officer position. I turned it down. All my friends were like, "You're a fucking idiot. Like, that could have changed your whole life, blah, blah, blah." But I knew, like, I had the background. I worked with those guys. Yes, most of them, I'd say 70 to 80% are slimy. And why did they want me? Obviously, for my Arabic language skills, because if I didn't speak Arabic, I don't think the CIA would look twice at me. I'm not a door kicker. I'm not fucking recon or a group guy. I'm a TERP that worked around those guys, but I wasn't anything special. But I did happen to be smart. They trained me at a young age. I worked intel most of my life, and I spoke a language that they really wanted. And so I said, after going through the whole interview process, I'll never forget it. Walking into the door, and I was like, I changed my mind. I don't want to do this. This was like 4 or 5 years ago, so it was fairly recent. Uh, could my life have been different? It might have been a little bit easier, as far as like job stability and shit like that. Like honestly, the guys I know that work for the CIA full time never have to worry about like work or anything
Anything.
like that.
No,
Yeah,
that don't have to
everything is
worry.
over.
They don't have to worry about anything.
They take. I'll give it to them. They take care of them, but they make them do some fucking questionable shit. They
Yeah,
do.
I mean, they're going to rot in hell for the rest of their life, for the rest of their existence. But hey, they got cheeseburgers for free.
Exactly. And me, like with all the stuff I've done, I still have a conscience. Thankfully, I have buddies that I've contacted with it that have went the other route. There's always different routes to take. I've always followed the right path in God. I felt like there's been so many situations where like I truly believe in like a higher power that God like got me out of, or some supernatural force. If you don't believe in God, there's definitely something bigger than us out there, right? And I'm a true believer in that. And I don't want to switch to the dark side. That's what I call it. There's a dark side to it, and that's actually where I jumped into the counter human trafficking side. Was about 6 years ago. I was living in Vegas, and I was doing law enforcement prior to that, and I just got tired of regular law enforcement. Uh, got out as a gang unit officer. I realized narcotics and gangs were always going to be a fucking problem. Like the war on drugs is a joke.
I mean, you got the CIA and the DEA. I mean, as long as you have the, I mean, that's the biggest pusher out there in the deal.
Exactly.
Like, I grew up in the hood, man. I'm telling you, if they didn't load the streets with narcotics and then create the school to prison pipeline, we wouldn't need the system the way we have it set up today.
No, I agree 100%. And I witnessed it firsthand too. We can talk about that more later. At the border, my work at the border, I ran into some of the craziest shit I've encountered in my life. In my 13-year career was at the border, not in the Middle East or anywhere else. It was in border of Mexico, man. Just running into other people with different agencies and seeing what they were fucking a part of is like crazy to me. But yeah, I got into the counter child trafficking thing 5, 6 years ago. I started with CPS, Child Protective Services in Vegas. That's some of the most fucking craziest cases there because it's a big like party town and tourist city. Worked on some big cases out there with the assistance of the FBI, and from there I ended up switching to ICE. So I was a contractor with ICE for 4 years.
Which is even worse when it comes to trafficking of children.
Dude, so we said love hate with CIA. Me and ICE don't get along, dude. They're trying to basically towards the end of my contracting career, they try to blacklist me and like revoke because I don't want to do like the royal bidding, if you will. Yeah.
All right. So it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what organization is good and which organization is bad. Correct.
This is what I've realized. There's no good or bad organization. There's good or bad agents.
Yeah.
Because I've seen. Go ahead.
But then you have the people at the very top that are perpetuating that, right? I mean, it's not just. They are perpetuating the issue, are they not?
They are, but I'll give you a good example actually of me, and it had to do why I left ICE, right? So my direct supervisor, this is an open and closed case. You can Google it on the Department of Justice website. The Joint Terrorism Task Force supervisor for ICE in the Houston office, Chris Torrell, right? That's his name. It's all over the fucking news, dude. He's one of the people that like sponsored me for my ICE clearance. This guy was charged by the Department of Justice. This is the head of JTTF, charged by the Department of Justice for money laundering for the Sinaloa cartel. I'm talking a 10-year Marine veteran, 20 years with ICE, brother. And yeah, I fucking asked questions. I was an intel officer. So my job as intel wasn't just dealing with cartels and gang members. It was also finding out who is like corrupt within the agency, and when I started asking a lot of questions, they didn't fucking like it. Of course, they had to investigate it.
Oh, you can't cuss, by the way. They'll cut us off of YouTube.
Oh, my bad.
You have to use everything, but otherwise YouTube will be like, yeah, we're going to censor you. This is the censor world.
Gotcha.
Suitable for kids.
Gotcha. So long story short, dude, when I resigned, they fucking try to sorry. They try to turn me into a bad guy. Like questioning my background after they were contracting me for 4 years. Like, what'd you do in the Army? Why'd you get kicked out of the Army? I got kicked out for fighting and medical reasons, which obviously I wouldn't have passed the clearance if it was dishonorable or anything the way they were painting me. Then asking about my law enforcement career and where I've been overseas and what I did with the CIA. They even went as far as contacting the agency, the CIA, asking them questions about what countries they sent me to and everything I did was legal and how come there's like no passport stamps of where I went. And let me tell you, ICE is a retarded agency. Okay, the bottom of the barrel, bro. You really think if you're an ICE agent and you get called the CIA and be like, "Hey, this Kadura guy, like, what countries did you send him to?" You think they're gonna tell you flat out, "Yeah, he worked for us, and we sent him to like a container in like Fallujah to interrogate some KSD"? Of course not, dude. So the CIA, of course, denied any involvement of me with them. They basically told them that all I got from the agency ever was like a Christmas card. That's the exact statement of the person on the phone from the agency to the investigator with ICE. So ICE was pissed off. They felt like I was like withholding info and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, the case was like unfounded. It was bullshit, bullcrap, sorry. And they're like trying to scare me, like don't go out there and like say what was going on. And it's not
it's loose lips sink ships. And unfortunately in that world, it sinks you as well. Right. So there's no, all right. Go ahead. Sorry.
So now it's turned since Trump, right? It has. It like majorly switched. I'm sure you guys have seen on the news. They even contacted me, was it yesterday or today, to come work at Alligator Alcatraz. They want an intel officer over there. I'm sorry, I did. Hold on. Did I lose you guys? My bad.
No, I'm just taking a picture because Austin, if you look at the top of my hat, see my hat, how it's cut off? It's cropped. It's cropped. Okay, Austin, fix that. Just move me up in the pictures. I think what you have to do.
So yeah, they basically reached back out, right? It's different now under Trump, and he's also like assigned a task force to finding all the kids that were missing under the Biden administration. So things are turning around, I want to say, with the current admin. So it does have a lot to do, going back to what you asked, with who the president is, too, because he is cleaning house. All those top leaders of every agency, he's been getting rid of them. The ones under Biden were crap, man. I'll tell you that straight up.
Okay, so let's talk about what happened during Biden's administration, and then I do want to get. Well, maybe we do this
Joe,
first
you're
because you
tiny,
probably.
Joe. What happened? Look, Joe, you're tiny.
Trust me, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm about to go mad here. You see where it's cutting off my hat? Or everybody see that? Where it's at the very top?
Yeah.
Because you have to move up you have to uncrop it to the very top. See this? It is not my camera, bro. Because you'd have to look, see this? See how that space is above my head? See that black space above my head? Can you see it? Is it just me? Okay, can you fix that?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You see how his goes all the way? Goes all the way to the top. Mine stops there. You see it? Just move the picture up. Move it up. Move it. Move me up. Make me taller. That should do it.
That makes sense.
I don't know.
We got to play all the tricks, pull out all the stops to make sure the green screen is working over there. But I want to know, what was it like being able to experience working with the CIA in the Middle East, seeing some of these things firsthand? Did you see any abuse that was going on of children, for example? Because a lot of people are tying Epstein to the CIA and Mossad. Did you see anything? I know you probably can't talk about all of it, or else maybe you wouldn't be still sitting here tomorrow, right? But I would like to know what that was like and what you saw that maybe raised some red flags that made you not want to accept that position when it was eventually offered to you.
So when I was there, I never dealt with kids, right? That was like early on in my career. I was strictly as an interpreter. So obviously we had like packets, like I'll give you an example, dockets on like every person, like we would interview or interrogate, blah, blah, blah. I would translate, interrogate, would speak, I'll translate the question, go back and forth, right? Well, towards the end, I believe that some of these people were actually like innocent because they would talk to me in Arabic and like I could tell, right, if someone's lying or not. I've been trained well enough on like body deception, speech differences, all that stuff. And I started questioning. I was like, some of these people are like actually innocent, but they're like interrogating them, body stress positions, all that crap, right? And I'm like, there's something wrong with this picture. Like, they're not even really verifying. I mean, I guess part of my job is to verify, but if you're going straight to torture without even listening to what the guy says, I mean, it's inhumane, right? And that's at that point is when I started questioning like what I was doing. And that's why I left contracting as a whole, came back home to Texas, got into law enforcement. I never really talked about it, honestly. I was scared most of my law enforcement career because I felt like the agency, like, they're known to not just ruin lives, but even end them. And that's like 100% true, by the way. So not until later on, when we were back on talking terms, right? And I did some intel work for them. Was I like a little bit more aware of like how stuff used to be? I would say now it's a little bit better than before, right? There's more red tape. And with social media and people with camera phones, it's not like how it was 15 years ago. Doesn't make sense?
Yeah, it makes
Like,
sense.
look at what's happening in Gaza, right? So I'll shout one of my friends up. One of my partners, his name is Maverick. I'm not going to say his real name, okay? He's right now in Gaza on a humanitarian aid gig. But the news is like painting the U.S. aid workers, who are like PMCs essentially, right, as bad guys aiding IDF and like shooting innocent civilians, which is completely not true. But what I'm saying is the news can always switch propaganda and make anyone look like the bad guy. Like, did the whole CIA thing get overblown? Sometimes it does, I think, by the news, right? Because at the same time as people paint them as bad guys, I'll be honest, a lot of the black ops, I guess you would call them, of like saving kids, are not DHS based, nor the FBI. It's the CIA actually sending contractors going down to South American countries to rescue kids. I'm talking about American children that get kidnapped from families, kidnapped off the streets. It's CIA contractors going down and doing the work. I mean, the DEA and all these agencies for the last 4 or 5 years have not been allowed to operate in Mexico. A lot of people don't know that. Under Biden, the Mexican president completely removed all U.S. federal agencies from being able to operate in Mexico. So
You're
everything
saying that there was no CIA or FBI influences in Mexico for those 4 years?
there is, but they weren't operating publicly.
Oh, okay, got it.
You know what I mean? There's a difference
Yeah.
when they operate publicly and when they operate discreetly.
Well, I think one of my issues is that there's a saying that says that, hey, if you thought it was bad, it's worse than you could imagine, right? So the presidents have said this. You just had Dan Bongino that came out and talked about just how bad it was. He's like, it's terrible. You cannot have a functioning republic the way that things are being run right now. And so we look at that, and not many people have been overseas. I mean, been overseas, like understand, like I've been to 65 countries. You want to talk about not getting stamps? We'd have to leave our passport in a different country to go into a different country because you were afraid of the reach of the U.S. government. You were afraid of it.
You should call ICE, Joe, and explain that to them because it seems like they're incompetent and can't understand that concept.
Look, if you took your passport, there's two things that would work against you. One, foreign adversaries that hate you because you're an American. Exactly. So carrying that passport's bad for you. And then the other one is domestic terrorists that are actually a part of our government that hate you even more.
Exactly.
Because they're afraid you're going to solve the problem. Like you might solve the problem. Oh shit. Get out of here. We need a little bit more out of this juice out of this squeeze, right?
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the issues that we have is that we can't get to the bottom you can't see the bottom. And because you can't see the bottom, it's dangerous. So yeah, I mean
go ahead. Do I think there's gonna be a fixed solution? Honestly, Joe, there's never gonna be a fixed solution, brother. I'll be honest with you, dude. I mean, there is a solution that isn't. I could tell you what the solution is, but I don't want to get put on a list.
You mean it's going to be a war? We're going to have to go. It's going to get hot.
Yeah,
I mean, you can say it.
You have to. That's the only way to fight violence, brother, is with violence. Okay, you can't negotiate with the cartel or terrorism or child trafficking. You cannot. You cannot. I've worked intel. I've sat face to face with a lot of these guys, bro. You can't talk sense, or you can't change these people's minds. Okay, just like we're patriots, they're patriots to their beliefs, right? You can't change someone's mindset, no matter how much you talk to them or torture them or whatever, you know. And let me tell you, every time you take down one terrorist, two more pop up. It's just the way it works. The only way to end this shit is to bring it to them. That's the only way, bro.
And one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter.
Exactly. I mean, look at the guy they just put in Syria that replaced Bashar al-Assad. He used to be one of the head Al-Qaeda guys. Now he's the elected prime minister. I mean, the U.S. government put him there, let's be honest. CIA assets put him into power. Okay, the CIA was directly involved in the whole Syria thing, FYI. They were all behind that shit, dude. They armed the rebels, started the shit show. You know, even in Iran and Iraq, that's all. Even Ukraine and Russia, that was all proxy shit, man. It doesn't just, things like that don't just happen out of the blue, okay? They're prepared. It's not a conspiracy or any of that crap. No, there's gun runners that work directly for our U.S. government. There's drug runners. It's their job. They're called couriers. It exists. It's not something you apply for. It's something you get selected for. I personally know guys that do it. It's real, man. And it's just the way it is. Like I said, there's good and bad agents. Would I be able to ever do something like that? Even if they offered me a $500,000 salary, $1 million salary, I can't, bro. I cannot be bought, and I pride myself in that.
Is that what the salary is that you were being offered? Approximately that much? Can you say? I'm curious. And by the way, in my experience interrogating terrorists, I just say, please stop bombing us, and they normally just listen. Please don't bring the drugs and trafficking over. Yes, okay, I'll stop. Thank you for asking nicely. That's all you have to do. I don't even know what's the big deal.
They definitely offer heavy incentives, if not monetarily, then physically. Nice. They have a lot of properties all over the U.S. FYI, like a lot of those empty, paid off safe houses that you see in movies. That's actually all real, bro. In
It's a real
almost
thing.
every city, yeah, in almost every city, there's safe houses here in the U.S. I'm not even talking about in foreign countries. They have those. But like I would say almost every fifth subdivision here in the US probably has at least one safe house for some US government agency. It's real. They're vacant, they're paid off, and they remain empty for the most part.
Unless somebody needs them.
Exactly. Exactly. There you go. So hey
Um,
Clark, we're gonna give you this nice house in Dallas, Texas. You and your family are gonna live there with your cats and dog. We're gonna hook you up with this nice car, right? This nice salary. But I'll tell you what, buddy, we got something coming up in Iran, right? And we need you to go on a peacekeeping mission. And that's how it starts, dude. Once you say yes, that's it. You're fucked. Sorry, you're screwed.
yeah. So I want to tell you what you just said is I was going through some text messages. I'm still getting sued for this Dominion voting system stuff by this Eric Coomer guy, the Mr. Charade, as I like to call him. And the charade is that we have free and fair elections in this country and that they weren't adversely affected in different countries or in the United States. And I talk about elections a lot, right? Well, because frankly, we haven't had the will of the people heard at any level, state, federal, local, it doesn't matter. They're fixing elections everywhere in order to create this illusion that people are somehow nuts and believe girls can be boys and boys can be girls, and that we should send little boys and girls to get penises cut off and add penises. I don't even know how that works, but anyway, so there's this nuttiness that they're trying to make mainstream, which destroys society, right? And as I'm going through this stuff, one of the things you said about the CIA and what they have the capability of doing, or intelligence agencies specifically, they could just say, you're off the Christmas card list. And if you have a conscience, you're done. You may last 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. They may call on you, but then you're dispensable. So I got this message from an intelligence guy, and this was on, what day was this on? This is on the day before Thanksgiving in 2020. Now, I just turned over a bunch of information, and it says, and he's like, you need to call me right now. Now, keep in mind, the CIA guy, Chuck Faddis, Chucky boy, came out to visit with me. And this guy wrote, Joe, I said, just got your message. This is Joe Altman. He said, reach me over here. I said, okay, I'll do that. Joe, I just checked that you are likely under unsanctioned warrantless surveillance data collection. All unencrypted communication are subject to intercept. Be warned and act accordingly. I've notified my group and run interference and let our network know we want you left alone. WhatsApp has been penetrated, but signal is safe. I said, nothing to gather on me, nothing to hide. If they can fix an election, I have no doubt I'm not on the Christmas card list. Right? And this type of activity without a warrant is illegal. If they know we are involved, they usually stand down because we play hardball to protect our friends and sources. So I went, okay, this is like Jason Bourne stuff that you're dealing with during the election stuff. This is right after the elections, 22 days after. And I remember going back the 6 years that I was in the Middle East and Africa, doing some crazy stuff and writing some crazy stuff and being where I had no business being, right? I had no business being anywhere near any of it, but I was really good at fixing stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember this thing that this guy said, and he was like, he said, don't be seen and don't be heard. That's all he said to me. And I went, oh, that checks. Don't be seen, don't be heard. And what this guy's basically saying is, don't be seen, don't be heard. So everything that we see, it may not, that our intelligence agencies and our government has gotten so corrupt and so corrupted that everyone knows that they've already broken all the rules. And so when something is brought to them that says, hey, this person broke the rules, it doesn't matter. Nothing happens. And the people that won't break the rules, you're not allowed in because you're going to tell on all of us.
Holiday. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's exactly how it's become, man. Unfortunately.
Well, let's talk through some stuff if we can. I want to ask you some more questions, but I want to talk about some of the things that we had on the thing. You'll get your thoughts on this. The Durham Report is to be declassified. So this is completely fascinating. We can go ahead and put that up.
Look, our audience knows this, thanks to you and thanks to Devin Nunes. Our audience is well aware of what took place here, but we want to see accountability. Many of the statute of limitations have expired. It's been almost 10 years for many of these folks who did this. But John Brennan testified to Congress, and so did Hillary Clinton, within 5 years. I think it was in 2020, right, and then again in 2021. Are those statute of limitations still live? Tell me if, in fact, we could see a criminal prosecution here, as you just the other day, 3 weeks ago, have, in fact, referred criminal referrals to the DOJ.
Well, Maria, so part of what came out last week was about how John Brennan, Clapper, Comey, they all pushed the known fake Steele dossier into intelligence community assessments and as the basis for Crossfire Hurricane and all that. But what hasn't come out yet, and what's going to come out, is the underlying intelligence that I have spent the last few months making recommendations about final declassification and sent that to the Department of Justice that will come out in the John Durham Report classified annex. And what that intelligence shows, Maria, is that part of this was a Hillary Clinton plan, but part of it was an FBI plan to be an accelerant to that fake Steele dossier, to those fake Russia collusion claims, by pouring oil on the fire, by amplifying the lie and burying the truth of what Hillary Clinton was up to. And you're right, Maria. John Brennan testified to John Durham in August of 2020. He also testified to the House Oversight Committee in 2022. Hillary Clinton testified before John Durham under oath in 2022. James Comey testified before the Senate committee in September 2020. All of that's within the last 5 years. And much of that testimony is, frankly, completely inconsistent with what our underlying intelligence that is about to be declassified in the Durham Annex, what that reflects. And so, you know, Pam Bondi does have a strike force. It is a different Department of Justice, a different FBI, and an opportunity to look at how these people really did conspire to run a hoax, a fraud, on the American people and against Donald Trump's presidency. And so coming forward, we understand that they did this, but now we need to understand how they did this. And I think that's why you see the left losing their minds over this, Maria, saying, why are you spending time? This is vindictive. You're going back. This is Donald Trump, you know, seeking retribution. It's not. Donald Trump's election by the American people was a statement, Maria. They said to everyone, we know what you did to Donald Trump, and we reelected him because we know this was all fake. We know it was a hoax. Now we want to understand how you did it so that it can't happen again. And that's what this declassification process that we're undergoing right now, what's going on, why it's so important, and why there can be accountability and preventability to prevent these same people that did it in 2016 with the Steele dossier, with the Hunter Biden laptop in 2020, from doing it again in the future.
So what I think I hear you saying is there is still an opportunity for indictments, potential prosecutions, accountability from those people who may have lied under oath, like John Brennan, James Comey, and perhaps Hillary Clinton.
Well, that's why I've made the referrals that I have. D&I Gabbard has made referrals, and why we're going to continue to share the intelligence that would support the ability of our Department of Justice to make fair and just claims against those who have perpetrated this hoax against the American people and this stain on our country.
Director, one other question on this. Tulsi, as well as President Trump, used the word treason. Is there a statute of limitations on treason?
Well, Maria, what I would say is this, is there is no doubt in my mind that the people that we just talked about conspired. They conspired against President Trump. They conspired against the American people. And so I'll leave it to Pam Bondi and our Department of Justice, Kash Patel and our FBI to investigate the conspiracy to do what and what charges that they're capable of bringing. But again, I don't think statute of limitations are going to impact, because in a conspiracy, Maria, the statute of limitation doesn't start to run until the last act in furtherance of that conspiracy. And Maria, part of why this is so important is the people behind this are still furthering the conspiracy. They're refusing to admit or acknowledge what they did in 2016 and what they did in 2020 was wrong.
Treason. What do you think, Tarek? Treason, Matt?
Definitely, man. Definitely. I think there's definitely going to be people that are going to get indicted. I'll tell you this, dude. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Hillary's not going to be one of them. Okay. Hillary's not going to be one of them. But
And Obama's not either. Obama's not either.
Comey's a possibility, though.
I mean, they went after President Trump with both guns loaded.
Yeah.
And couldn't get him because there was nothing. It was a nothing burger. He had a lot of assets, a lot of access.
Yeah.
And here we are doing the same thing. We're having the same conversation right now. We're having it again. Like, wait, it's like deja vu. But what do you think is going to happen afterwards? I mean,
I think they're going to make an example of a couple of people. That's what I think is going to happen. Definitely. I don't think they're going to just sweep it under the rug this time. That's what I think.
Matt,
he's on another level this time, man. The first term was a different Trump than this term, if it makes any sense.
Well, I have a more pessimistic view, unfortunately, because we've seen the Epstein client list pretty much go unscathed. We've seen Donald Trump back off from what's that?
You know why, right?
Because he's on it. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, I don't believe Trump slept with underage girls, but I know for a fact Trump had parties where he went to them with Epstein. He did do that. He probably saw some stuff they shouldn't have seen, and that's what he's embarrassed about. That's what he just doesn't want to get out. So he didn't sleep with any kids. Great for him on that, but that's why he's not doing that. So with this, maybe we'll get a little more lucky because this is right in the wheelhouse.
Yeah.
It's also perfect timing because he would rather us focus on that than the Epstein client list right now. It's what he wants people to do. He's making it very obvious. Obama did make a lot of that up. He did participate in it, but then Trump says, okay, he has some immunity. So then who are they going to go after? Clapper, for example, could be someone they go after. Comey. I mean, there's going to be people who are involved in this that will definitely have investigations against them as to whether it leads to prison time. You know, I'm just so watered down by all of the criminals that are allowed to get away with all of these awful things constantly in our government that I just have no. I mean, the faith I have that we're going to see any of them really behind bars is small because they're more concerned about protecting each other, even on the other side of the aisle, than they are about protecting the American people.
I think that there's a lot to be said about the fact that the left and the right are the same, and if that's wrong, if that's not true, then why is Johnson and what's his face on the Senate? Why are they holding people every 4 or 5 days pull them out of recess so that President Trump can't do recess appointments? Like they're stopping things from happening right now, and they're doing so subtly. I mean, Thomas Massey's the only one to call it out. Like President Trump can't get anything done. Do you know how many bills they put through the House and the Senate since President Trump's been in office?
One.
They have the House, they have the Senate. Do you know what the record is? He said it, and it was 7. He set the record. Normally, it's like 30 of them are through the House and the Senate. Brrr, done. He hasn't even undone. We haven't even undone the damage that was done by Biden. So you know that this is the case of incrementalism. You know they're going to. So they took the entire football field. They're going to give us back 40 yards, but you still have the 60. So then in 2026, they're going to lock things down. Democrats are going to win. People are going to be lost. They're going to kabuki theater. sit around, we will wobble, skittle to diddle. We all fall down. 2028 comes in. We have no one that's serious on either side. Goes to the Democrats, they get a whole football field. Give back 40. Well, they got the whole football field then, right? And people think that, we're going to fight, we're going to win, we're going to fight, we're going to win. Look, this is the devil's freaking playground. This is the devil's playground. Like, we know what incrementalism is. If you've spent any time overseas, and Tarek, where'd you grow up?
UAE, United Arab Emirates.
All right, nobody needs to talk to you about corruption and the curtain. Do we need to talk about the wizard behind the curtain right now? Can we?
There's a reason why I'm here and I'm not there. That's all I'm going to say.
It's a real thing.
Even though it is pretty nice now. There's a couple of nice parts of the UAE.
Don't get me wrong, man. It's very nice, but because I'm from there and I've declined like several offers to like work for the prince and stuff because I was a dual citizenship at one point and I had my military background here and they really wanted me to go there. And for me to say no, like if I go on vacation, let's just put it this way, I'll never come back to the U.S. They'll find some reason. That's how it is. It's because I'm originally from there. That's why. They'll find some reason to keep me there. So as nice as it is, and they love Americans, it's still the Middle East. I'll just put it that way. And I know how they are because I grew up all around the royal family. My grandfather was a general in the UAE army. He was one of the first generals. It's a pretty newer country for those that don't know much about UAE. Out of that region, it's a pretty newer country. So most of my family from my dad's side is actually still back there. I just haven't gone back.
Yeah, so I've spent time with sheikhs and imams and princes and King Abdullah, both of Saudi Arabia and Jordan, because obviously King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia passed away.
Yeah.
But I've spent a lot of time with a lot of influential people, and I call it the facade, right? Because they will take your head right off your body, just pop it.
Exactly.
Right? And if you think that one of those swords are only on Aladdin, oh no, we shall show you.
It's the reality of it, man. I swear, it really is. They just don't publicize it, obviously, on the news because then it creates a bad image, and then no one will go there and stuff. But it's all real. I mean, Saudi Arabia is open about it, so I give Saudi a little bit of credit that they show their true colors. You know what I mean?
The people are amazing. I'm going to tell you right now, the food's amazing, right?
Oh,
Turkish coffee medium. Just good. By the way, drink your Turkish coffee medium, right? But don't have it one day. Your head will be pounding. You have to come down on that. It's like heroin. Tell me I'm wrong. Anybody spending time in the Middle East, you're like, oh yeah. You're like, man, my head hurts. Or like, here's some coffee. And you're like,
people get hooked on it. People get hooked on it over there, dude. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? To get you.
Yeah. And you're like, shukran.
What do you mean though? So you said you wouldn't come back. They're gonna kill you? You think you would fear for your life if you go over there right now just because you were born there and you had opportunity? Or they're gonna make you do the job? What do you mean? That's crazy. How are you not gonna be allowed to come back if you go there? What's gonna happen?
Joe, you want to give him an example?
I'm just. How about the?
I want to know this. This is cool.
The Saudi Arabia and the Egyptian doctor who went into the embassy. He came out in like 50 different pieces. They're like, "Where is he?" Well, we found his finger. Yeah. It's a real thing,
dude. And they welcomed him with open arms. They did. Look what they did. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, they kissed him on both cheeks, man. I'm telling you, they kissed him on both cheeks. And then they stuck a pile driver right up the skewer and threw him and then cut him into pieces.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. Matt doesn't have any clue, man. He has not seen the brutal.
So they hold, they're nice people, right? They're some of the nicest people. I have friends back there. My family's still back there. They will hold a grudge. Just because I said no and I'm not interested, I wasn't being rude about it, right? I just don't want to go back and freaking work in the Middle East, dude. I had enough of that crap. I had enough of it. I like the U.S., I like my freedom. I love my guns. I love it, dude. Just because I said no, they take it as, oh, you're too good now, brother. You have American passport. That's their thinking, bro. That's their thinking.
They're jealous. They're jealous. Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless of the education level, even the sheikh himself, They're like, oh, you're too good for us. You used to play video games with us when we were little at the palace, and you used to come every Ramadan and eat rice and lamb with us. Now that you're American and you work for the CIA, you're too good to come work for us. That's how they think. I swear, bro. That's how they think.
All right. So I was on the streets in Jeddah. I'm drinking water, right? And a friend of mine walks up to me, slaps the water out of my hand. He's like, leave it, Mr. Joe. Because you're not supposed to be drinking water or eating outside. Right? Yeah. And I'm like walking around like beep bop, deep bop, beep bop, deep bop, all the way down the street and drinking water. Like, hey, how you doing?
And they have the religion police. Have you heard of them in Saudi?
Oh yeah, I bet them.
They'll come right up to you if you're doing something wrong. Dude, they'll cut your arm off right in the middle in public. Literally, hey, extend your arm now. Bam! If you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, but I'm an American, so I get away with it.
Are you exaggerating? Yeah.
Well,
I have heard stories about that where even American tourists will go and they won't wear a bikini or you drink or whatever, and you can get in serious trouble.
If you're American, they're not gonna cut your arm off because that would start chaos, dude. They can't. No. Now I'm talking about the locals. The locals, if you're doing something out, like let's say you're smoking a joint.
Well, it's a caste system, so it depends on where you're at. Because there's an underground too, right?
Yeah,
so you have some of the best parties I've ever been to with the most. I'm serious. We're in Saudi Arabia.
Like a party's good. You rate it like percent of armless people there, because they're the fun ones. So that's like if there's a lot of armless people, it's going to be a really really fun party. Is that I mean, I'm making fun of it a little bit, but I mean that is obviously this is a real thing, right? So I mean, what happens next? So they cut the arm off. Okay, you're bleeding all over the place. You go to the hospital. They take you to the hospital at least. I mean, you're gonna die. You might die. He's
somewhat joking. It's not. They just want to run up. They're not going to
maybe a hand first. A little warning.
This is why you can't finger. Have nice things.
Finger first, then hand. You still want to do it? Okay, there's your arm too. At least give me a warning. Pinky first, please. Pinky first.
So I might have I don't know, over described it, but let's put it this way, okay? That would never happen to me here in the U.S., right? But the percentage of it happening to me over there goes way drastically higher. I'm heavily tattooed. I'm originally Palestinian, by the way. I was born in UAE, but I'm originally Palestinian. So we're already under a microscope, brother. You know what I mean? Last thing I want to do is go to one of those countries and break the law. That's it. Masalava. I'm gone. I'm gone. You won't find my passport anywhere here. It'll probably be in Italy or something. You'll find it over there. Allah. Done.
So that's interesting though, being Palestinian, especially with what's happening and being part of the CIA, because that's kind of super contradictory. The CIA obviously working with Mossad right now. I mean, what have you seen there? The CIA, Mossad, what are they doing right now in correspondence in Gaza? Do you know some of the behind the scenes of that?
So one agency that despises me, and I despise them completely, and I hope they're watching this. I love you guys. The Mossad, we hate each other, bro. Just there's no sweeter way to say it. So. Last summer, I wanted to go on a humanitarian aid gig for the UN, right? The U.S. approved me to go. United Nations approved me to go. I won't name the agency, okay? It's an aid company. And they hire
USAID, maybe?
USAID. Was it UNICEF?
I'm not gonna say.
Who said that?
I'm already on enough list, dude. That's not a gig. I still gotta work and pay bills.
Okay, I'm sorry. It was me.
This is what happened. Everything was groovy. Everything was nice. U.S. approved me. Looks good. Everything's good. We're gonna buy your ticket. You're gonna go. We're gonna provide aid to the Palestinians in Gaza. I want to help my people out, brother. I'm not going there to support Hamas. But then Israel comes. Hey, hold up. We don't care about this guy 13 years contracting with the U.S. He's Palestinian. Let the Syrian in, let the Egyptian guy in, but don't let the Palestinian in. I swear to God, this happened. They wouldn't let me in, bro. They're like, if you try to cross through any border, we'll immediately apprehend you. And the U.S. told me, hey, Department of State was like, if you try to go on your own, we can't help you. They will they will take you into custody. Just because I'm Palestinian, dude, they think like I'm gonna flip. Really, you clowns, you freaking clowns! You think I'm gonna waste my whole life and my career to go over there and flip and do what with Hamas? Hamas would kill me as soon as they found out I touched the ground. I'm a traitor, bro. They don't think. They just see Palestinian and they're like immediately bloodshed. It's unfortunate, but that's how they think, man. Especially with a guy with my background.
They did that. They did that with 40,000 women and children in Gaza as well. So I mean, look, I believe that Jewish people deserve to have life, freedom.
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
But you know what? The Palestinians, you should not be genociding an entire group of people. This is just absurd, right?
Yeah,
but the Hamas leaders are billionaires. They're hanging out over in other countries. What is that?
So that's a girl in Gaza who is starving and begging for food on the streets. And I mean, I look at that, and you're obviously from Gaza. You know, that could be you're a family member of yours, for example. You know, I mean, it's just like like seeing that hurts me. How does it make you feel?
Terrible, dude. Terrible. But not terrible to the point where I would turn my back on the good in this world, right? I mean, I think I'm an example of a Palestinian that decided to do good and support the U.S. overseas. You know, I try to be a good example because we've received so much negativity, especially by like the Israeli government, that, you know, you can't trust Palestinians because they're bad people and half of us are terrorists and we're Muslim extremists and all this crap. Dude, I'm heavily tattooed. I've been serving this country since I was 18. Like, go F yourself, you know? And I hate that kind of stuff. It bothers me. It bothers me. It really does, dude. And, you know, I try to do something good. I'm not even allowed to go. Imagine how I feel. I'm not allowed to go to where my grandparents are from to help my people. Not because the U.S. government said no. It's because some foreign government that's taken over right now doesn't want me going there. It's messed up.
There's so, I mean, we could do a whole show just on what's happening in the Middle East and how the fact that most people in the United States have no idea the cultural implications of the region or what's reality, right? Everything you're told here in the United States, I'll just tell you right now, and you know this, is a lie.
Yeah.
Everything. And by the way, Muslims are not terrorists. Are there terrorists that are Muslims? Yes. But the reverse is not true, right? And by the way, Muslims believe in Jesus, Isa al-Masih, Jesus the Messiah. If you don't believe that, I'm so sorry. I've read the Quran cover to cover. I know it really well. I helped do a publication for the Gospels from Aramaic to Arabic, and that had scholars and, you know, David Hungerford and Mark Siljander and all these people came together and said, all right, we're going to do a translation so that Muslims will accept the Gospels in its purest form. And so I will tell you, most Muslims out there, and I have friends that kept me safe in environments that were Muslim, are amazing people. And by the way, they can cook better than we can in the United States. So
I don't know about that.
No, I'm telling you.
I don't know about that. It depends. You know, it depends on the person. I feel like I've met some pretty good chefs. I've met some pretty good chefs.
Everyone in the Middle East, men and women, knows how to cook. I'm just telling you right now.
Yo, I'm the only exception. I'm sorry.
You don't know how to cook? Oh, bro. Oh, hold on a second here. I'm done.
Is it the wife's job, the wife's role?
No. I'm not like that at all, man. Honestly, I blame my mom. She's always cooked for us growing up, always. And then the Army, we always had a DFAC. When I was contracting, I always had a DFAC. State law enforcement, officer's kitchen, right? Almost every job throughout my career, every single job, I had like someone there like cooking, dude.
Yeah, I got a wife too, bro. But I mean, I go to the Middle East. I'm like, that's good food.
My fiance is in the next room. I'm sure she's shaking her head right now. She's originally from New Zealand, but she lives in Australia, and she's always like, "Yeah, how do you not know how to cook?" Like, she's always giving me a hard time about it. Thankfully, she knows how to cook, and I love her cooking, man.
Well, she's from New Zealand. They got some really good food too.
Yeah. All
right.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to this part yet, but the DOJ was ordered not to arrest someone. I'm going to let you get. Who do you think the DOJ, back when Obama was in office, he ordered them not to arrest a certain person. Who's that person?
Back when Obama was in office?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was
They had no. Let's see if he gets it.
Oh, you're asking? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So
I may know this.
He ordered the DOJ were ordered by the FBI and the DOJ were ordered by Barack Obama not to arrest Hillary Clinton for espionage in violation of U.S. Code 793. Hillary Clinton. Go ahead, play it.
About what the Obama Justice Department ordered federal lawyers to do and not to do concerning the Hillary Clinton email investigation. Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge tells us in sworn testimony on Capitol Hill, one of the insiders told lawmakers what she was told.
During closed-door testimony last summer, former FBI lawyer Lisa Page said the Obama administration's Justice Department advised the FBI not to pursue the gross negligence statute for Hillary Clinton in the mishandling of classified information. Former U.S. Attorney and House Republican John Ratcliffe led the line of questioning about the statute, known as 18 U.S.C. 793. Ratcliffe, you're making it sound like it was the department that told you you're not going to charge gross negligence because we're the prosecutors. Page interrupted. That is correct. Page's testimony appears to conflict with then FBI Director James Comey's recommendation in July 2016 against criminal charges for Clinton.
What I can assure the American people is that this investigation was done honestly, competently, and independently. No outside influence of any kind was brought to bear.
The Republican-led House Oversight and Judiciary Committee investigation ended in January. With Democrats now in control, the committee's new ranking Republican made the Page transcript public.
The transcript releases show an inherent two-tier system, one in which Hillary Clinton gets the treatment that she got, where there was actually at first concern that they were going to charge her, and then with Loretta Lynch in charge, before she recused herself, made it very clear that that was not going to happen.
The tip-off came from a chart drawn up by federal investigators assigned to the Clinton case known as mid-year exam. Fox News has confirmed that the chart listed possible federal statutes for prosecution. Next to gross negligence was a notation, quote, DOJ not willing to charge this. Only known cases are military, cases when accused lost the information. In response to the Page revelations, the president tweeted the transcripts, quote, make the Obama Justice Department look exactly like it was, a broken and corrupt machine.
The Page transcript also confirms Fox's earlier reporting. The Page testified Russia collusion was still unproven when Special Counsel Robert Mueller was appointed. Brett?
Captain, thank you.
What do you think of that?
You're asking me?
And this is Lisa Page that basically just turned on Comey.
When it comes to Hillary Clinton, I'd rather not comment, Joe.
You don't want to comment on Hillary? You might have suicide in yourself. You tell everyone right now, I'm not.
I'll be honest. One person I do fear, right? I don't fear many people in this world, but it is one person I do fear is Hillary. Just because I personally know how much influence she has and how well connected she is. Until now, she's been quiet, but don't think that the snake isn't still powerful. I'll just put it that way.
I mean, the Hillary body count, everyone knows, is very high. You can see all the people. It can't be a coincidence. I mean, we can say it in jest or jokingly if we want, but I mean, yeah, those are real people that are being killed. I mean, that's what's happening, right? And you're right. You could be one of those people. You're already too connected, too knowledgeable, that if you do start exposing things that are too close to the sun, so to speak,
100%.
You're going to get burnt and you're going to be the next victim on the list. I mean, that's what happens. And they'll say, oh, it's a suicide. Oh, it was a helicopter crash. Oh, a mission went wrong. You know what? Whatever. Like that. They'll find a way if they want to find a way. I mean, and I say that like I'm immune. I'm not immune either. Joe's not immune. It can happen to any of the three of us if we get too close. And that's the fear they love operating on. That's what gets them. That's what gets their rocks off at night. And it's a little terrifying, but it's also something that I think is important to fight against because we can't have that be the structure. Or else it'll never get better.
Yeah. So I personally don't operate that way. I know that Hillary Clinton is a dangerous person. And what's really we know this is the devil's playground, right? So we know the God. At the end of the day, everyone goes home to God, right? Everyone goes home. You can't. Nobody is going to cheat death. It's just not possible. But one of the reasons why evil is allowed to thrive is because people don't speak out. So I'll just say it right now: Hillary Clinton, terrible human being, stole billions of dollars from the Haitians. Then they went down there and they killed the Haitian president during the COVID deal. And I mean, those were special operators, right? Those were operators out of Florida that did that.
Yeah.
Down there and murdered him because he wasn't playing ball by COVID. And you had the African president that was killed over there. He was suicided. And we see it happening everywhere, and everyone and the media didn't even pick it up. It shows you how powerful the entire system is. That it is actually designed to destroy humans. Like we don't matter. We don't matter. And in their world, we don't matter. And so I don't think anything that I'm going to do or you're going to do is going to affect Hillary Clinton. I think she sleeps like a baby every night because sociopaths do, right?
Yeah. I will say she is more powerful than the current president. Just because of some of the people that I know that are like on her protection detail and stuff. I'm talking about contractors, not Secret Service agents. She's very powerful.
Can you expand that a little bit more?
She is the most powerful person in the world.
Like
100%.
I know people joke around. They're like, "Yeah, Hillary suicided this person." Like it's always a running joke, right? But like, because I talk to some people that like protect her, some contractors, right, that I know that protect her and stuff, and like some of the stories that they tell me, like she's very like actually more powerful than what people think.
What does she have the power to do? What can
anything she wants, more than
take whatever you want. She can reach in, take your heart out of your chest, and then it'll be beaten in front of you. Yeah.
Dude, but that's on an individual level. Okay. Could she, if she wanted to stop the war in Ukraine, for example, could she do that?
No.
Does she have that kind of power?
Not wars, but let's say
she can have her own private war, though.
Yeah, 100%. Because I know a group of contractors that she's hired to do stuff around the world, in Africa mostly. And for someone to be able to hire her own private army, I know of how that tells me right there how like what more do you want if someone can hire their own private army, right?
Well,
I think I'd say that's pretty powerful.
I think the scary part about what you're saying is that there's no limits to what they can do to the human. This is actually why I go back to 2020 and I'm like, why did I get involved in any of this again? They're stealing elections. Okay. And did what I do affect any good? The answer to the question is yes, it did.
Yeah.
It did. I mean, what I did, it truly made a difference. But did it make a difference in the reality of what the outcome is? In other words, Hillary's still going to be able to do what Hillary does.
Yeah.
Right. And they're still going to lie in the media, and they're still going to have the same. I had hopes. I was like, all right, they're going to get rid of the machines. They're going to get rid of mail-in ballots. 2026 come around. They're going to be even red. They get more and more red as people start to have their voices heard. You know what's happened? Nothing.
Arguably worse. Even it's gotten worse.
Close your eyes and what do you see? Yeah, it's less than that. And you could and I'm not saying that President Trump hasn't made some huge progress. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's not permanent.
Yeah.
Right? It's not permanent.
Yeah.
You want to make it permanent? Give the voice back to the people. You want to work the problem? See, there's a way to work the problem, and you work the symptom. We've worked the symptom. You get back 40 yards, no problem. I'm still 60 yards deep. You want to gain ground? You want to go the other direction? You want to force it onto your football field? Well, brother, then you got to start canceling out stuff. Then you got to start actually doing the hard work. You got to stop the, AIPAC from, owning 439 or 400 and what is it? 439? No, 500 and
all the politicians besides 6 of them. Yeah. In Congress. I mean, which is insane. What do you think about that, Joey? I mean, we've seen pretty much our entire government be taken over by AIPAC, because if you don't support what AIPAC tells you to, you get kicked out. And it doesn't just extend to the specific things with AIPAC money. I can attest to the fact yeah, a lot of these politicians are paid up to $10,000 per post to say things that are pro-Israel, for example, even in cases where Israel doesn't deserve that justification for their actions, where Israel has done something that was evil. You can debate back and forth, protect themselves, not protect themselves. Okay, fine. But they certainly shouldn't be killing children at the level they are. But if a politician wants to get rich from this whole situation, from this war, then all they have to do is make a few posts and they get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in order to do that. How deep is the rabbit hole? How bad has this gotten from your perspective?
I think it's always been bad, but now it's more public. That's what I think. Now more people are seeing it. Thanks to social media, like guys like Joe, who have their own podcast and they expose it. Before it wasn't as common; people weren't as aware. Now more people are researching, which is good. I've always said we can't always save the world, but if we can save a few thousand people and help them start critical thinking, and that's a big thing that I think we lack in the United States is the concept of critical thinking. Everyone's always like left or right, and the machine wants it that way. They don't want someone in the middle thinking for themselves. And that's the way out, bro, the rabbit hole. You got to think for yourself, bro. You can't let the left and right dictate how you want to think. That's the way out.
Okay, fine.
So,
I just in that case, I'll stop sleeping with my stuffed elephant that has an RNC logo on it. I was cuddling that every night. Now I will get rid of it and go back to sleeping in bed with my wife. I think that's an upgrade. So thank you for that word of advice. You're 100% right. I mean, at some point, there's no good guys anymore.
You know what drives me nuts is like my friends, my buddies, right? Like their contractors like me, they're like, yeah, Joey, we know you're Palestinian, bro, and really sorry for what's happening, but come on, dude. Like, come on, you got to support Israel. Otherwise, you're a liberal. You're a liberal if you don't, I'm like, dude.
No.
So gay.
It drives me nuts. That tells you how the majority think in this country, dude. And it's by design. People didn't just wake up one day and start thinking like that. This is 2 years of getting people to think that way. And now this is the result. It's like they're either with Trump or against Trump. Well, how about you think for yourself and you come up with a solution and you do something about it and you research. And, no one wants to read or research anymore. CNN said this, or this news channel said that, and then they just regurgitate whatever they heard online, on TV, sorry.
All right, so here's a question for you. Can't you be for President Trump and still say, I don't agree with some of his policies and actually criticize those policies? Isn't that normal? Yeah. Isn't that like the normal thing to do?
Yeah, I was on one of his protection details like 4 months ago, and the guy next to me, the Secret Service agent, like, hey, by the way, I'm Palestinian. Don't worry about me. I'm cleared. But I'm sorry. Like, he looked at. You should have seen the Secret Service in his fucking face because it's not common. I've never met any other Palestinian like with my background ever. I've met like some Iraqi guys, but not Palestinians. Right. So it's not common when I say Palestinian, like, and especially when I'm on like dignitary protection details, like people's faces. I remember like 2 weeks ago, I'm not going to say who the client was, but he was close ties to Israel. And I was one of the lead agents on his protection detail. I'm like, I guess you missed the part, dude. When they sent you my name. It says Tarek can do it. All you gotta do is Google it. And the first thing that comes up is that I'm Palestinian. But he froze. He was drinking like coffee and he froze. He's like, well, I fully support the Palestinian people, I'm like, look, you don't have to sit there. You don't have to sit there. It's not one way or another, bro. Just because I'm Palestinian doesn't mean I hate Jews. My great grandma from my mom's side is Jewish. But it's like it's the white people think. Bro.
But nobody hates anybody. That's the whole thing. We just hate godless, faithless, atheistic pieces of trash that have held the Jewish people hostage just like they have everybody else, right? I mean, it's just, and this is the part that drives me crazy. By the way, I have to tell you this. I was at the Waldorf Hotel. What was it?
Waldorf?
The one in D.C. Really, no, in what's it called? It's called the one that all.
Capital.
Yeah.
Well,
So yeah. So I was there January 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th of January 2021. And they had a bomb threat on January 5th. And so everyone had to move away from the door. And you had a bunch of SF guys, security guys that have been, that they were there for detail. There's a bunch of people coming in and out, and they weren't for me. But they were all over in this area, and they're all super serious. There's like 25 of us. And I look around, and you could have heard a pin drop. Like, it's because everybody's like, they're going to blow up the building. So I look around, and I went, boom! They all jumped. I saw the one guy. I know he peed himself, but I started laughing, and they were like, "These are hardened security guys, right? SF guys. Like, you had a bunch of frogmen in there." And I couldn't stop laughing. Oh my gosh. It was like, but there's like 35, 40 people that are huddled against this other side of the hotel room. And all of a sudden people start laughing because they're like, okay. I'm like, guys, you take this thing too seriously. If a bomb goes off, you're either alive or you're dead. It's pretty simple. Yeah,
it's going to happen. Right? It's going to happen, yeah.
So this worrying about it. Look, but you had everyone. It was, anyway, so that was my, you're going to hell, Joe, for making everybody wet themselves.
That's hilarious.
Other people tell that all the time. Like, Joe, I remember you. Like, you literally you made us all pee our pants. And I was like, you're just a bunch of pussies.
That's awesome. I like that kind of sense of humor, dude. Life's too short, we try to cling on to it too much sometimes. We forget that, like, at any given moment, it can honestly, just be taken away, man. Whether it's a bomb or a car crash or any of that. Or Hillary Clinton getting mad after seeing this podcast,
I just, I mean, there's so much to talk about it. We're right up against our hour, so we got to jump off.
Gotcha.
It's great to have you on. We should have like a round table and talk about everything except for Hillary Clinton, because I know you really. We'll call her. We'll have a code word for her called Bittery Tintin. Bittery Tintin.
On our next episode, we will be revealing all of the top secret stuff about Hillary Clinton that we have there in the file in the corner of our room. That's totally safe. It's right there in that box, and we're going to reveal all of it on the next show. Just kidding, Hillary. No, I'm joking, Hillary. I'm joking. We're not going to do that. Don't worry.
We're going to have a knock on my door tonight.
And we do, like, the missile comes like 20 seconds later. Yeah.
Oh, God, that's hilarious.
Just kidding, Hillary. We know that you're awesome. Well, I don't know about awesome, but
oh man, dude.
All right. Well, how do people follow you? How do people follow you? And
IG, I'm most active on Instagram. Joey.nobody. That's another. We'll talk about that next time we talk, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
For sure. And I really enjoyed this, honestly, guys. I really did.
It's a lot of fun. Listen, stay frosty. Keep your head up. If Hillary comes for you, Hillary Tintin.
hey, listen, if you guys see me on the news tomorrow and they say, like, I got suicide, feel free to talk about it, right? There's definitely Hillary.
I'll be like, Hillary!
I'm not suicidal, guys, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there.
And there's going to be like, Joey, it gets taken out. It's by suicide, 45 feet away with a 9mm. He shot himself and then ran ahead of it.
He fired in the air and then just waited until it fell down on him.
Oh God.
You can't make this stuff up. You really can't, but it's absolutely true. I wish I could unsee it. I do. Because I lived most of my life believing that most people were at least on the surface good.
Yeah.
Now you get to see the reality, and it's tough. It's tough.
But there's still good guys out there, Joe.
Oh, I know. I have a 90-10 rule now.
Yeah. Me
You want to
too.
hear it? You want to hear it?
Go ahead.
90% of the world is total shit. 10% will give you the shirt off their back. Of the 90%, 40% will do something for you if it's convenient for them, right?
Yeah.
And the other 50%, cold as ice, man. They're literally slit your throat, just soon look at you, right? Of the 10%, though, if you always believe that the people you meet are a part of the 10%, but they end up not being a part of it, you're never disappointed because they had a 90% shot of getting there. So you then you find out that all right, you get to find the people that are good. You get to latch onto those people. But when people do you wrong, you're just like, all right, well, that sucked, but I'm going to move on, right? I'm going to move on and I'm going to try and find my 10%.
That's a great outlook, dude. I love that, man. I really do.
Yeah. Works out
Very
well.
similar to mine. Yep. Yep. Well,
All right,
awesome,
brother.
guys. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much, Joe.
Absolutely. Good to have you on. I'll reach out to you sometime later on this week and we'll chit chat and get you back on.
Awesome, brother. Thank you. Be safe,
God
guys.
bless you, brother.
Take care.
All right. You too.
Later.
Totally awesome. Awesome dude. And
that's my favorite interview we've done so far.
Yeah, he's awesome. But yeah, he's authentic. And he's really seen it. Like when he said you have to leave your passport at the border, that's a real thing. Like anytime you're doing an op where you're helping someone and the chances are someone from both sides can come at you, you're better off going in there and playing deaf and dumb, walking around with a blind stick. So you can tap around like, can you see? No, I can't see. Can you hear? Nope, can't hear either. Can't see, can't hear. Because there's a lot of bad people that get away with doing bad things to people. So it's quite the difference.
Yeah.
All right. Is it my turn to pray us out?
I believe it is. Yes.
All right. Just to give a shout out to our sponsors, 3 sponsors. We have AMAC, obviously. You go to amac.us/untamed and you can get a free membership on us. I do want to talk a little bit about DCF Guns. DCF Guns, obviously, the largest place where you can buy guns and ammo across the country. We're shipping guns everywhere. And you can use call up. I don't know what there it is. There's a phone number on there somewhere. Go ahead and find that phone number. Anyway, go to dcfguns.com, go to the bottom, make the phone call, tell them what you want. They'll take care of you. And they'll definitely give you a better price than you'll get if you were going to buy it anywhere in the country. Because the only thing we can't do is advertise it, but you have map pricing, but almost all of our guns inside the store will get you a better price than anyone could ever advertise. So go to dcfguns.com. There you go. 720-515-2006. All right. And the last one of our sponsors, or actually not the last of our sponsors, but another sponsor is Goldco. I want to say thank you to them for shipping me the gold. You get 10% free silver for a limited time. And you can go to untamedgold.com. Listen, you don't have to do anything. I've talked this now 3 or 4 times. Go there and at least have them send you the packet. The packet will make more sense. And then you just start investing portions of your retirement, of what happens in the future. Gold and silver is something that has been traded in for over 2,000 years. The fiat currencies, even cryptocurrencies, they're not going to hold anything when it comes to any weight as you would get if you had gold. Gold prices, I think, are at 3,300 today. So go over to untamedgold.com and check it out. Just get them to send you a packet. Don't hedge your bets. We're appreciative that they actually sponsor the show. We're more appreciative of how they treat people and what they've been able to do to help people manage and take care of their investments. So that's it. So we should pray us out.
Let's do it.
All right. Father God, thank you for having Tarek on today. Thank you for his commitment. Thank you for the mind that you've given him, the wisdom that you've given him, and the courage to be able to stand up and protect others. Father, we're grateful for the people that are listening. We're grateful for the commitment that so many have made to stand up for what is right, despite being punched and kicked and really treated by a really radical group of evil people, frankly, on both sides of the aisle. But despite all of that, people are still standing up, and they're standing up to defend our communities and our country and even people in other countries. Father, we're grateful for the leadership that has given the American people and many people around the nation, around the world, a voice. And we're grateful for the good leaders that have done things to protect the people in our community and in our country from those that would do harm. So I ask you to help us that we may get to a place where we work the problem unapologetically, and that we do so with courage, commitment, and with ethics. Father, help us that we may chase what is not popular, but what is right. And help us that we may set aside petty differences and realize that things are more complicated than Democrat or Republican. Get to a place where we do right by the people in our communities. Help us, Father, we may protect our children and protect others' children from this evil that is so evident. You can see it. Help us, Father, we may choose to do what's right regardless of the consequences. I ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. See you tomorrow. Same bat station. God bless you.